everybody, the Brickologist here with another throwback LEGO Star Wars set review. Today we're going back to the year 2007 to take a closer look at set number 7664, TIE Crawler. This set used to retail for about $50 here in the United States. Adjusted for inflation, that's closer to $75 in 2024 money. It contained 548 pieces, and unfortunately I do not have the box, but here is a quick picture at what that box art looked like. Included with this set are two instruction manuals. The first one has 32 pages of building, the second one has 22 pages of building, and there are a lot of advertisements at the back of the manual here, including the Winter Wave from 2007, which saw the introduction of battle packs to LEGO Star Wars. We also have the Summer Wave from that year that has some iconic sets, including the MTT and this Naboo Starfighter that I will review here very soon. We can also see some LEGO Club advertisements and then more pictures of the box arts for sets from 07. A really good year for LEGO Star Wars, if you ask me. 548 pieces later, and the TIE Crawler is now complete. There are no side builds included with this set. It's just the TIE Crawler itself and two of the exact same figure. Let's look at that figure here first. Only two minifigures are included in this set, and they are both Shadow Troopers, the exact same figure. And this was the first ever appearance of a Shadow Trooper in LEGO form, and I think they nailed them on the first try. I love the metallic printing for their helmets. That looks fantastic. The torso print is great as well. And this is kind of a rare occurrence where I think the old minifigure is noticeably better than the most recent version we got in 2019, because that version has the ugly new style of Stormtrooper helmet, and this one uses the classic LEGO Stormtrooper helmet that is just a much better mold if you ask me. They also have some good printing from the back. Really great figures to get in this set. Let's transition and look at the TIE Crawler itself. And if you're not completely familiar with this vehicle, especially if you're a younger Star Wars fan, I don't blame you. That's because this vehicle at one point was decanonized, and then it was recently made canon again in a comic book, but for the most part this is known from Star Wars Legends. However, I think the concept of this vehicle is incredibly simple and just downright awesome. It's a TIE fighter type vehicle that has been turned into a tank, and what's not to love about that? But this is not a hovering tank like we're used to from Star Wars. This bad boy has treads, and they move really effectively on a softer surface. If you're rolling this thing on like hardwood or concrete, it might have some trouble getting enough friction to move, but on something like carpet, it's gonna work just fine. I also love the ability for the treads here to kind of turn. That gives this thing so much life and playability. I really think this is an effective mechanism and a well-designed tread system. Speaking of mechanisms, the entire tread modules are on individual hinge pieces that can rotate 360 degrees like so, giving you a lot of customization options for this vehicle. You can kind of have them facing this direction like on the box. You could have them facing opposite directions, which looks a little bit silly but is an option. You can even have kind of a tall U shape, which is very weird, or the exact opposite. I mean, they really went all out with this function. My only complaint is the cockpit section kind of has a mind of its own and likes to float around in different directions and has to be readjusted constantly. I wish that would kind of fall back into place better, but besides that, it works effortlessly. Looking at some of the finer details, I keep wanting to call these sections wings because I'm so used to that on other TIE vehicles, but obviously they are not wings in this instance. The detail here is decent. I like this dish piece quite a bit. However, the blue is very inaccurate, albeit that was standard procedure for LEGO TIE Fighter designs back in the day. There is a very nice hidden function back here though. If you pull up on this, there are blasters completely encased inside, and that is really well integrated. They don't fire anything, purely for decoration, but the function is so good it makes up for it. They repeat a lot of similar designs on the inside. I like that LEGO did not ignore this section entirely, something I can't really say about some some modern day TIE fighter sets. Moving on to the cockpit area of this vehicle, it uses the old style Lego TIE fighter cockpit piece, which I think looks pretty good. I also like the extended blasters right here. And speaking of blasters, there is a flick-fire missile feature here that's kind of horrible. That missile is on the bottom here. I actually had to take this piece out during other segments of this video because the missile is 100% loose. It's not actually attached to anything. So if you are able to flick it, it will fire decently, but if you're just moving the vehicle around, it's probably gonna fall out unless you just have insane balance, which I find incredibly irritating. The cockpit itself here does open up very nicely with a hinge to reveal an incredibly small interior with some really basic controls, but it does fit a Shadow Trooper figure rather comfortably. Finally, from behind here, you can see a nice printed dish piece on top of the cockpit and some added details which are accurate. So that's pretty cool looks from behind here. Additionally, you can kind of use this as a handle to continue with the awesome function of rolling this TIE Crawler around. The TIE Crawler is very obviously an older Lego Star Wars set. The color schemes are outdated, the pieces are outdated, even the dang flick-fire missiles are outdated. However, it has a certain 2007 Lego Star Wars charm that is undeniable. For being 17 years old, I think the build looks really solid. Additionally, the playability is off the charts here. They absolutely nailed that. And this is also a one-of-a-kind set. And because the TIE Crawler is almost essentially not canon besides one comic book appearance, I don't think we're ever going to get this vehicle in Lego Star Wars form again, so this is kind of your only option. As for the value of this set, in 2007, I think $50 seemed about right. The price to part ratio is great, but there are a lot of tread pieces in this set, so it was a bit on the misleading side, but at the same time, there are quite a few bigger parts, and overall, I think the size to price ratio is fair, so that was pretty well done. However, when you adjust all of that for inflation, it's $75 in 2024 money, and that is not a good deal whatsoever. Would have liked to seen it closer to around 60 to 65, so it definitely feels a bit overpriced from that angle. And if you're interested in getting this set for yourself today, it's about $185 new in sealed box. I wouldn't really recommend doing that. That's a lot of money to pay for this TIE Crawler. However, it's around $80 to $85 out of box, and because this set has no stickers, as long as the pieces seem to be in good condition, I say go for it. Overall, this is a one-of-a-kind Lego Star Wars set, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. There are a couple of flaws that I pointed out through this video, and yeah, it does feel outdated, but it has a certain level of je ne sais quoi that I just can't really quite explain verbally. Just look at the set. It certainly is a charming piece. That's why I'm gonna give this thing an 8 out of 10. Those are just my thoughts though. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching today's review. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.